This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Wildcats Football Coaches Show, your home for all things Flint River football, with Wildcats head coach Josh Dare and your host David Carden.
Let's go!
Welcome to the Flint River Academy Coaches Show with head coach Josh Dare. I'm your host David Carden. The Wildcats are coming off a bye week, getting ready for their first playoff game this season. They're going to travel to Warrenton, Georgia, to take on the Briarwood Buccaneers. Coach, you excited?
Can't wait. You know, they're a really good team that we played earlier in the season. We were down 28-20 at half, and then second half just kind of fell apart. So it's a redemption. So we get to go back over there and kind of get a second chance at them. They're a really good team, but you know, we feel like we have a good shot against them.
Yeah, y'all kind of got down early in that game. Were able to make a comeback, and then kind of got away from you in the second half. They're really good on the offensive line.
Unbelievable. You know, their offense just in general is hard to stop. And when you're watching film, you watch defenses think that they have them stopped, but their running back's so talented that he squeezes through a little gap and he picks up 5 or 6 when there's nothing. And you know, it's a game where you got to hit them low and you got to hit them often. And they do a really good job. Their scheme is great. They got a couple really big linemen, and they're going to use those linemen to try to move you. Then they've got some smaller linemen, and they're going to use those linemen to cut you. You know, they're going to cut constantly with their little guys and take their big guys and move you. So we've put together a little scheme to try to counteract that, to where, you know, if we're lined up on a little guy, we're not going to fire forward. We're not going to fire off and give them the chance to cut us. We're going to use our hands more because they are smaller than our line. And we're going to use our hands more and just kind of shield them, push them down. If they want to cut, just push them into the ground. Now you got an unblocked player. So we're going to do that versus their little guys, and then we're going to we got some plans for their bigger guys to kind of slow them down. We like the plan that we have for them.
So is that something y'all saw on film, doing the guys trying to cut and y'all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they cut us the first game. Their center cuts every play. You know, their center is his number 5. If that tells you anything, you know what I'm saying? They got a single-digit guy at center, and they got number 5, they got number 43, and they got number 4. I mean, all 3 of those guys are probably 5'10" max, 170 pounds max. So those are 3 guys that we got to know when we're on them, we got to handle them. You know, we can't allow them to cut us. We can't fire forward and let them take our legs out from up under us and then block us. You know, it's like we were talking last night. There's a reason big guys play in the line, and we got to make sure that when they got their little guys, that we try to take advantage of it. You know, don't let them do what they're really good at. We got to take that away from them.
I know in the region championship game against Piedmont, y'all got a couple players banged up. Mm-hmm. Cullen Evans, William Quinlan, Brett Williamson was dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
How did they progress in the bye week?
You know, we took it easy, really. I mean, we didn't even go in pads one day. We went in helmets all week just to kind of look at our scheme defensively against Briarwood and our scheme offensively against Briarwood, go over our special teams. We did everything just helmets. Didn't hit because we had so many banged up. Dylan Murray had an ankle injury as well. So you know, Brett's doing much better. Dylan's doing much better. Quinlan's just one of those things where he's going to go, and you never know when somebody's going to land on his rib and he's got to come out of the game. We got bad news on Cullen last week. He's going to have surgery, so he's out. So we lost, you know, Cullen, and we lost Jacob in the Piedmont game. And you know, when you lose 2 receivers, now you're really thin out there. So we'll be able to move Quinlan to wide receiver and Alex Posey to wide receiver, somebody we got a lot of confidence in. But once, you know, we're thin, not that we don't have confidence in who we got out there. We got confidence in that. But, you know, if somebody goes down, now you're really pulling from the depth chart to put somebody in.
Thin.
Right. So we just, you know, we got a good game plan in case something does happen. But, yeah, you know, losing Cullen kills us. You know, losing Jacob kills us. Jacob's a great edge blocker, and, you know, and with as much as we run to the edge, you know, that hurts us. Cullen's a great blocker. Cullen stretches the field, and whenever you lose that deep threat, that hurts the team. So we got some things in mind, and we got a good game plan, but you can't replace those 2 guys.
No, that cut down on the number of wide receiver screens you throw?
No, because you know, they're going to have a choice. You know, put 7 in the box and we throw it out wide, or they're going to put 6 in the box and we're going to run right at them. So no, we're definitely going to spread them out, and you know, and we still got we still got Brett, we still got James, we still got Chase. Those three guys can run screen and take it to the house any play. So we're definitely going to use our skill guys out there and try to get the hands in our playmakers, or get the ball in our playmakers' hands and go to work. So.
How does losing Cullen Evans and Jacob Chester affect you on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, Cullen is, he's a safety and has been a safety for us, and Jacob's been a backup corner for us, and both of them have done a great job. It doesn't affect us as bad this week, simply because they're a running team, and we put in a defense to put our 10 best tacklers in the box. So definitely going to lose those guys because, like with Jacob, anytime a corner went down, we send Jacob out there. There was one game he had to pick the next play, so he knows the scheme. He knows what we expect out of him. And Cullen, you love having Cullen back there to run things down and stop big plays. And anytime somebody floats it, he can go make a play on it. So definitely, we're going to miss those two guys. But, as a coach and as a team, you don't forget about them, but you got to move on. You can't sit there and think about everything that they did. Now we got to find who we got now and figure out a way to put them in a position to succeed. So.
Probably not as big as some games, not having them on the backside of that defense, because Briarwood's real run heavy,
right?
Not very good at passing the ball.
Exactly. So we're going to bring our safeties down and let them help with the run. So it's going to work out this week.
You said y'all were kind of light in practice last week, just helmets, no pads, not much hitting.
Yeah.
What's practice going to look like this week?
Similar. We'll go in full pads today, tomorrow, possibly Wednesday. And we'll have a little contact, but we can't take a chance of losing another guy. We'll just show them what defense they're going to be in again. We'll probably go 75% and just kind of get to the right guy. Make sure that's half the battle a lot of times. Is make sure you're going to the right person. Get in front of them, block them, shield them, do whatever you got to do. So that's what we're going to work on. It's hard to simulate their defense because our second team isn't as big as some of their guys on the defensive line. So going 75% doesn't really kill you. I was at Piedmont for 3 years, and we went back-to-back state champions, and never once did we go live. Offensively, it was just going into pads, making sure we went to the right guy. And different thought processes. Some people say you got to go physical every day and get them ready, and then other people say, well, I don't want to get anybody banged up, so we're just going to make sure we know where we're going. And that's kind of what we'll do this week. Is we had some physical practices midway through the season, which kind of helped us out, and I think kind of we progressed because of it. But right now, having physical practices in the playoffs, I mean, how much more physical can you get somebody this late in the year? They either got it or they don't by now. So we're going to just keep it easy again, make sure we don't get anybody injured, and just have up-tempo practices and get the kids ready.
When y'all were watching the film, other than, trying to take advantage of them trying to cut block, anything else you see?
Well, we have to make sure – what's scary is when you're watching a film and you see guys one-on-one with their running back and can't make the play. They got unblocked people, which is every defense's scheme. We want to have an unblocked guy coming down and making the play. Well, you watch 3, 4, we got 7 films on them. You watch all these films, you see unblocked people just completely whiffing on them or taking one of his stiff arms and just him shoving you down. So that's just scary, And, watching them, they're going to do the same thing that they did in the first game because they don't change, because they have a lot of confidence in what they do, which is, that's the scary thing. When you're sitting there and you're having to prepare for a team that's got 17,000 different plays and all these different sets, that's letting you know that they don't really know how good they are at what, So when you're watching a team that runs 3, 4 plays and they come right at you, you feel like you under-prepare because you see 4 plays, you prepare for them, and you're like, well, did we miss anything? And the answer is no, you didn't miss anything. This is what they're going to do, and they're going to come right at you. So we just got to be prepared for it. We got to build a wall, grab on, hold on, gang tackle. We got to come in low. They're the type of team where they're going to get some points. You're not going to shut them out. If you shut them out, you played incredible, and they played awful. They did a bunch of bad things. They fumbled. They didn't get the onside. You got every onside. We just got to minimize how much they get, and we got to make sure we get ours when we get a chance.
You're talking about minimizing how much they get it. When Piedmont played them, that's what they did. They kicked the onside and recovered most all of them.
Yeah.
Is that something y'all are thinking about?
Yeah, we talked about it last night at the meeting. We're just gonna kind of take it in stride with the game flow. They're a tough team to stop. but you also want to give your defense the best chance to stop them. So kicking it deep and pinning them deep is great. You know, we kicked it deep a couple times against them. Some of their athletes got the ball and got it back to midfield. So it's like, well, do you just go ahead and onside it and give them the ball at midfield and you take the chance of getting the ball, or do you kick it deep and hopefully one of your guys gets through and makes a one-on-one tackle? So it's kind of a tough option to weigh, but we feel comfortable either way. We don't mind kicking it deep and we don't mind onside. And so we've got some onsides in and something that they haven't seen us do, and it's going to be tough for them to adjust to what we do, and just got to kind of play it by ear.
We'll be back with more of head coach Josh Deere right after this.
I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience.
Visit Taylor Foster Hardware in Manchester and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience on the Big Green Egg. Taylor Foster Hardware, Main Street in Manchester.
Murray Company Realtors in Griffin are proud to offer you this wonderful country home. This spacious 5,200 square foot home features 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, an eat-in country kitchen, plus an in-law suite. Located on 55 plus acres, this property includes hardwoods and pines, pasture, garden area, and potential 5-acre pond site. Call now to let Mark Hawkins at Murray Company Realtors show you this wonderful country home and property.
Welcome back to the Flint River Academy Coaches Show with head coach Josh Deere. Coach, you said you had some onside kicks in, some that they haven't seen on film. Is that something y'all might have took from Piedmont from a couple of weeks ago?
Well, no, it's actually, what we did against them. I don't know if you remember the first kickoff.
When y'all left, was it Murphy out on the edge?
Parker, yeah.
Parker.
Yeah, we left him out there, and now we're going to just kind of do some things off of that, just because, we've seen 2 films. In 2 films, they lost a total of 6 onside kicks. So it's definitely something that they struggle with. But it's also one of those things where it's just if you don't get it, you give them the ball at midfield, and they're tough to stop on a short field. So it's definitely something that we're going to have to do a little bit. We just got to pick our times.
Yeah, there's a big reward there, but maybe a bigger risk to missing that onside kick.
That's exactly right. So.
That is, when y'all go to the 10-man box to try to stop that Russian attack, I know they run in between the tackles a lot. Are you worried about them bouncing it out and catching the edge?
Yeah, well, the way that we've got it designed is we've got everything funneled to come into the middle, into the wall, and then if they bounce it, we've got unblocked guys there. So, if they bounce it to the edge, we got some pretty athletic guys coming down that we know they can run with them, but the question is, can they tackle them in the open space? And in the first game, we failed to. But we've also progressed so much defensively since the first time we played them that we feel more comfortable with our one-on-one tackling on the edge. So we definitely like our game plan. And like I said, it's going to be tough to stop them. We want to get a couple stops. We don't want to go out there and think you're going to stop them every time. I mean, that's about impossible to do because they're good.
Yeah.
They're not a bad team. It's not like you're going and playing some team that's got lucky. They won their region in a tough region, and they're a #1 seed for a reason. So we just got to go out there and stop them, get a couple stops, because we don't think they can stop us either. If the last time we played them, we made a couple just young guy mistakes. The first drive of the second half, we get a hold. Then we pull when we shouldn't pull, and we pull with a guy over us. That guy just comes in the backfield, makes the play, and now you're talking about 4th and 20, 4th and 25 after the holding, and kind of we hurt ourselves there because we were marching right down the field. 2 bonehead mistakes, they get the ball back. Then the next time we get the ball, we're marching right down the field. We pull again when we shouldn't. They hit our running back as we're handing it off. They fumble. Now that's their ball. So you're down 7 at halftime. Then next thing you know, you have a couple bonehead mistakes. Now you're down 3 scores.
Right.
So now you have to throw. So we didn't score any in the second half, but it's not like we didn't move the ball either. It's, when you're down 3 scores late in the third quarter, it's time to come out throwing. And at that point, they knew we were throwing. So then they spread everybody out, and it was tough. They were getting pressure off the edge. And, it was tough. It's tough to throw when they know you're throwing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So when they got everybody dropping, It was tough to complete anything, and we weren't stopping them. So it's not like we could sit there and take time to drive the ball down the field and give them the ball back. That wouldn't have worked either. So we had to, go at them and hope to hit some big ones, and we weren't able to. So.
You're talking about the guards pulling. Is that something y'all went over when y'all were watching film? Maybe the situations that when there's somebody over you, don't pull.
Absolutely. They change their defense up a lot. They run a 4-4. But then sometimes they'll just take somebody and go throw them at nose guard. Next thing you know, you got a nose and you got two guys head over your guard, and that's how they stop if somebody starts running in the middle. And what happened was they did that. They had a nose guard and two guys over our guards, and we were pulling and leaving that guy open to come hit us in the backfield. So now, we've gone over it. We know not to pull if there's somebody head up us, and we'll just man block it.
So that's something that y'all know. If you see it, okay, don't pull, we're going to change the blocking scheme. Still going to run the same play, just a different blocking scheme?
Exactly, yep, exactly.
Okay. A lot of outside runs, or y'all going to try to go up the middle?
We feel like we can do both. We really do. And we're going to spread them out and try to run right up the middle. And then if they come down, then we'll throw our quick screens outside and go. I would expect Parker to get 15, 20 carries. It's when you run with the quarterback, you got an extra blocker. So that's something that we're definitely going to look at is putting the ball in his hands and letting him go. And we've got a couple of little things that we're going to do that they haven't seen, and we're excited about it. So we like what we got in place.
When you said 15 or 20 carries for Parker, is that design carries, or is that him out on a bootleg with a run-pass option?
Design carries. The bootleg stuff and the waggle stuff that we ran against them last time, they were prepared for it, and they didn't let it happen, and they're probably going to be the same again this week. Basically all of our passes for Parker are run-pass option other than the screens. Screens, we just want to get it out there. They miss a tackle, we have a big play. But everything else we roll. They got one defensive end that's probably 6'2" and one that's 6'3". So we can't sit Parker in the pocket and expect for him to see who's open.
Right.
So we're going to roll, and we're going to work on sealing the edge. And he's going to know, if it's early downs, first and second down, and we're rolling out, and we get the edge sealed, take off. Don't even risk the throw. Get you 5, 10 yards, and let's move on. So definitely going to do that because that's what he does best. But we also like Brett in the backfield blocking for him, and him running behind Brett in the line. So.
Yeah, Brett's a big guy to be running behind.
Absolutely, and he can move people. So that's one thing that we're going to do a lot of this week. So and then we're still going to run a lot of zone, especially if they give us a 6-man box when we're spread out. We'll definitely zone read the ends, and because they're bigger, but they can't run with Parker. If Parker keeps it around the edge, they're going to have a hard time stopping them.
Yeah, he's fast. He's good to get the edge and turning it up the sideline.
Yeah.
On the zone reads, will that be Parker and Murphy? Or we all run that with Brett too?
We'll do it with both. Parker will probably play quarterback the majority of the game. I don't see many cases where he comes out, just because we want to be able to zip it out there as quick as we can. But we'll definitely switch up Brett and James in the backfield, and if they're not in the backfield, they'll be out wide. They're great receivers, and they're going to have to stop them. So we got some things set up to where we put them by themselves, and they'll be one-on-one. And I don't know if they got the athletes out wide to stop those two. So.
Like when you say out one-on-one, try to load one side of the field and leave them kind of on an island out there?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you
see how they adjust. Because when we put James or Brett out wide, if they want to play him one-on-one, we're going to go there all day. Now once they adjust to that, well, now they're taking a guy away from the trips. So now if you want to play our trips, because the way they played us last time is when we went trips, they brought 3 guys out there to play man and then put a free safety over the top. So they've got 4 guys committed to R3, which means to the backside it's one-on-one. We like our chances. If they want to change that, if they want to go 3-on-3 and then go 2-on-1 to the backside, well, now we like our numbers to the play side, so now we'll just run our screens and things out there.
So is that something when y'all get out there in that formation, will you change the play once you see the way they've lined up?
Yeah, we'll go no huddle the whole game. And one thing that we worked on heavy last week was audibling. We've given Parker just full permission. If you see 7 in the box and we got a run play, change it to a pass play. If we've got a pass play and there's only 6 in the box, change it to a run play. So that's something that we worked on heavy. So we'll get the play call in quick, and then he'll sit there and count and see where everybody's at. And then if he wants to change it, he's going to have full reign to change it.
So he's got a little more freedom, a little more control out there.
Absolutely.
Is that something he's had in the season before?
No, not a ton, not a ton. But you know, when I don't know if you remember, earlier on in the season we were bluffing,
Right.
and then changing it off what they were doing. Now we're in the 3-point stance, so it's harder to bluff. So you know, it's not like he's going to have to change a ton, because it's not. Once we figure out where they're in, we're going to know what to call at that point. You know, but then they're going to adjust, and we just want him to be able to look at it and say, well, that play's not going to work. Let's run this play.
Well, that's good that you have a quarterback you can trust to do that and that understands what's going on the defensive side of the ball to be able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, that's one thing that we got a pretty smart team. We really do. They adjust well. You know, we've ran multiple defenses this year, and they've picked up on it. We've run multiple offenses this year, and they've picked up on it. We got a bunch of plays, and we got a bunch of different sets, and they're all pretty comfortable with everything. So we like what we got going into the game. It's definitely a tough game, but it's definitely a game also. You go win this game, you're in the Final Four. You know, that's a great season.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're talking pro, college, high school. Every team's goal, get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Then anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So we've put ourselves in a position to get to the Final Four. I hate that we didn't have a game last week. It's not our fault that the team didn't have enough. You know, we played that team last year, and we could have beat them as bad as we wanted to. So, you know, whether they didn't have enough or whether we would have played them last week, we would have probably won that game. So, you know, you count that as a win, and you move on. Now you're in the Elite Eight. You win one game, and you go to the Final Four. So they got a great opportunity to do something special.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more head coach Josh Deere right after this.
Murray Company Realtors in Griffin are proud to offer you this wonderful country home. This spacious 5,200 square foot home features 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, an eat-in country kitchen, plus an in-law suite. Located on 55 plus acres, this property includes hardwoods and pines, pasture, garden area, and potential 5-acre pond site. Call now to let Mark Hawkins at Murray Company Realtors show you this wonderful country home and property.
I'm Ray Lampy, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience.
Visit Taylor Foster Hardware in Manchester and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience on the Big Green Egg. Taylor Foster Hardware, Main Street in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Flint River Academy Coaches Show with head coach Josh Deere. Coach, we talked earlier about a little of the injury issues. You're going to be down Chester and Evans there and Quinlan at the wide receiver position. And y'all used Evans, like you said, to kind of take the top off the defense. Will that be Murphy's job now or Chase Lewis?
Chase will probably be our deep threat now. But, you know, with the sets that we got in, you know, last time we played them, we tried to hit them deep a lot. Well, they did a great job of covering deep. But if you're covering deep, that means you've got people committed deep. So I think this week we're going to try to, you know, hit them with the inside run game and then hit them with the quick pass game and try to move the ball that way. And just get the ball. We want to get the ball out in space to our athletes and see what can happen. You know, first down, we throw a quick screen. It's like we were talking last night. First down, you throw a screen, you get tackled, 2nd and 10. You know, it's not like you lose a yard. First down, you throw a quick screen, they miss a tackle. Well, now it could be a 20, 30-yard play. If you got Chase or James with the ball out there and they miss a tackle, they could take it to the house anytime. So we think that's a great game plan, like I said, because it's not a lot of risk. You know, you just got to make sure you block the first threat. We failed to do that against Trinity. Threw the interception inside the 5. They went on to score.
Right.
So we got to make sure we block first threat. But our guys, you know, they understand who to block now. You know, the guy farthest away, let him come up and make the play. Let's beat him one-on-one. Anything can happen.
Is that something y'all worked on the last couple of weeks or last week and through this week? Is that blocking on those wide receiver screens?
We work on that basically every day. You know, that's a big part of our game plan every week. And we're fortunate right now because every defense has to guard us sideline to sideline. You know, Parker's done a tremendous job for us this year, getting the ball out quick, and our receivers have done a great job catching it and blocking. You know, so there's a lot that goes into a passing game. It's not just something that just happens. And
there's a lot of timing.
There's a lot of teams like Briarwood. They can't do that.
Right.
And, you know, you're not going to see them out there with the confidence to call a quick screen. So you know that's something that we've worked on a lot, and we're going to use it. It doesn't matter if it's 4th and 1, we feel comfortable throwing a quick screen. So we're going to get the ball out, get it out wide. We feel like our athletes out wide are better than their secondary. Not taking anything away from them. I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I mean, they got a great team, but we got some special guys out wide.
Yeah.
When you talk about 5 and 22 and 12 out there, and they're special on any team, and any team would love to have those guys. So we got to get those guys the ball in space and see what can happen.
You mentioned about Briarwood's passing attack. When y'all played them earlier in the season, I think they threw 3 passes, 2 short completions. Y'all came up with an interception on one of them, and they didn't try it again in the game.
Right.
If y'all are able to shut down the Reese brothers in that rushing attack, do you think they'll try to throw the ball?
If they're throwing, that's what we preached all week. If they're throwing the ball, we're winning. So if we want them to throw the ball, that means that we are winning the game, and we may even have the game in hand if they're throwing the ball. Because they have a lot of confidence in the Reese brothers, and I would too. Geez, man, they are unbelievable. Because now they got the beginning of the year, little brother would just come play tailback, and a bigger brother, older brother would come off the field. Well, now they got it to where younger brother's at fullback, older brother's at tailback. So now they got 2 guys in the backfield that if you miss a tackle, it's gone.
Yeah.
So, with them doing that, that's definitely a new dimension to their team that we didn't see in the first game. So we have to make sure that, we're ready for the quick hitters. We got to be ready to tackle the fullback. And I think by them doing that, it takes a couple of the carries away from 22, which keeps them fresh, So it's kind of the same thing with them with him subbing them in. Well, it's the same thing. Now they just hand it off to him,
right?
And he just gets that playoff kind of.
So are they giving it to the younger brother of the fullback on little?
Oh yeah. They'll run little kick outs and hand it to him. They'll run just right up the gut, trap. I mean they have got some well designed plays for him, and he's a great blocker. So
So now you're trying to keep track of 2 of them back there in the backfield at the same time.
Right, but it's the same principle. We're building a wall, So we're like Donald Trump. We're going to build a wall, and ain't nobody getting through it.
We're trying not to be political here, Coach. We've seen a lot of different plays out of y'all this year. Halfback passes, double reverse passes.
Yeah.
Y'all had a wide receiver screen hook and ladder for a touchdown this year. Y'all ran tackle eligible plays. Is there anything left in the bag?
Yeah, we got a couple. We got a couple that we haven't run yet, and we'll rep them this week, and we'll use them if we need to. We're going to go into this game and go right at them. We're not going to come out there and try to trick them and try to fool them. We're going to say, it's playoff time. You might be able to hit them with one big one, but you don't beat this team with one big play. You beat this team with driving down the field, scoring, keeping their offense off the field. And if we can do that, get a couple stops, that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to drive the ball and make them guard us from sideline to sideline, and then we got to get a couple stops. And if we can do that, we like our chances. So we're much better than we were the first time we played them. We're a much older team. That was game 5. This is game 11 for us. So we're definitely an older team. We understand the scheme more. We're much better blockers than we were last time. We're watching film that we're trying to double team one guy and he's splitting it. That I really hope that's not going to happen. I think that we're going to. They're not seeing the same team as they played the first time. And for us, we feel like we are seeing the same team because they were so good at the beginning that they just kind of maintained.
Right, they didn't make any changes.
Right, they haven't had to make changes. So we're facing the same team and we're hoping that they're facing a completely different team.
Speaking of moving the ball down the field and trying to limit their possessions, is that something y'all try to do, kind of control that clock, have long drives if you can?
Well, we want to score. You got to score with them, So if we have a long drive, that's great. We would love to have long drives, but at the same time, we got playmakers. If they bust one, we're not. Go get it.
You're not going to argue.
Exactly. Go get it. It comes down to stopping them. Can we stop them? Because first the interception you talked about. That's the only time we stopped them the first time. Other than that, they did not punt or have a turnover. So we one interception and that was it.
Yeah.
So we have to find a way to slow them down and get stops.
And they were averaging, 10 yards a carry in that game, too?
It was something crazy. I think they were right at 500 yards rushing.
Yeah, there ain't no joke up there.
No, they're good.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us again this week, and good luck on the road in your first playoff game this season.
Appreciate it.
Against Briarwood Buccaneers.
Yeah.
If y'all want to join us, we'll be in Warrenton, Georgia on Friday the 13th, 7:30 p.m. as Flint River Wildcats take on the Briarwood Buccaneers. If you can't join us in Warrenton, you can catch all the action live on Legends 1370. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for watching the Wildcats Football Coaches Show. Join Coach Dare and David Carden next week as they continue to review and preview all the Wildcats football games right here on Mountain Vision.
Let's go!
This is Mountain Vision.